You're born in Sparta, a city-state of ancient Greece. As soon as you're delivered, you're inspected by elders who are less concerned about your cuteness and more about your viability. Got a crooked leg? Weak lungs? Is there any part of you that is not optimal in any way, shape, or form? Well, it's off to the cliffs of Mount Taygetus for you. No pressure, right? Let's assume you passed this harsh entry exam. Congratulations, it's been decided that you're allowed to exist. It's late in the 6th century BCE, about 2,500 years ago. From the moment you're swaddled, your Spartan parents start toughening you up. Cozy cradle? Nope. You're strapped to a rigid board to make sure you grow up with a straight spine. Toys? Rocks and sticks. Warm hugs? How about cold stares and barked orders to stop crying? At the age of 7, things really start to get intense for you. You're packed off to the agoge, Sparta's infamous military training program. Forget school field trips and recess. Your new curriculum includes building pain tolerance, stealing food, and beating up your peers, all under the watchful eyes of older boys who are eager to whack you with a stick for any misstep. Welcome to Spartan boot camp. Here, weakness isn't just frowned upon, it's beaten out of you. Your first lesson? Learning how to take a beating. An older boy demonstrates by delivering a punch to your gut, and your only acceptable reaction is to stand there like a statue. Tears? Those are for Athenians. Next, you're handed a wooden sword and told to spar with another boy. The goal isn't just to win, it's to show that you can fight without flinching, even when your opponent lands a blow that makes your ribs ache for days. The agoge also teaches you how to live off scraps. Hunger is a constant companion, and you're encouraged to steal food to survive. If you get caught, you're punished, not for stealing, but for being bad at it. At night, you sleep on a pile of reeds with no blanket. The cold bites at your skin, but it's all part of the training. Comfort is a foreign concept here. Instead, you're taught to embrace discomfort as a way of life. By the time you hit your teenage years, you're a lean, mean, fighting machine, and you've probably broken a few noses along the way. Spartan life wasn't just about swinging swords and throwing spears. It was about living by the code. In Sparta, loyalty, discipline, bravery, and complete dedication to the state weren't just encouraged, they were crammed into your skull with every beating. One of the greatest hits from the Spartan philosophy? With your shield or on it. Translation: don't come home unless you've either won or died trying. Lose your shield in battle? That's worse than losing your pants at a dinner party. Why? Because your shield isn't just for you. It protects the guy next to you too. You drop it, and suddenly everyone's getting speared. Not cool. Even your mom gets in on this. Picture her handing you a shield and saying, bring it back or bring yourself back on it. Yep, no pressure there. You've just turned 18. Welcome to adulthood in Sparta. Now comes the crypteia, the brutal rite of passage that will test your every skill. Armed with nothing but a dagger and your wits, you're cast into the wilderness to survive on your own, proving once and for all that you're ready to join the ranks of Sparta's elite warriors. You forage for food, scraping by on berries and whatever small game you can catch. Nights are spent huddled under makeshift shelters, the cold seeping into your bones. But survival isn't your only mission. You're also tasked with stalking and terrorizing the helots, Sparta's enslaved population, as a grim reminder of who holds the power. By nightfall, you've built a shaky little fire and are gnawing on a rabbit leg that tastes more like desperation than dinner. The forest is eerily quiet, the kind of quiet that makes your skin crawl. You're almost convinced you're alone, until you hear it. A low growl cuts through the night. You freeze, heart pounding. Slowly, you turn toward the sound, and there it is, a leopard. Its golden fur dappled in moonlight, its eyes locked onto yours like you're the next item on its menu. The leopard takes a step closer, its tail flicking, its gaze unblinking. Your brain races. Run? No way. Spartans don't run. Fight? Yeah, good luck with that. Your dagger suddenly feels more like a toothpick. Okay, time to get creative. You stand up, chest puffed out, arms spread wide. I am a Spartan, you shout, because scaring off predators with bravado is totally a thing, right? The leopard isn't impressed. It lets out a snarl, a deep, guttural sound that makes your blood run cold. You're starting to think yelling wasn't your best strategy. Plan B. Fire. You grab a burning stick from your campfire and wave it around like a maniac. This time, the leopard hesitates, its eyes narrowing as it weighs its options. Encouraged, you take a step forward, thrusting the burning stick like it's a spear. The leopard lets out another growl, testing your resolve. Every muscle in your body screams at you to run, but you hold your ground. Spartans don't show fear, even when their legs feel like jelly. Then, with the flick of its tail, it retreats into the shadows like a ghost. Leopard talk for, you're not worth the trouble. You've survived the crypteia and have earned your place as a full-fledged Spartan warrior. But Spartan life isn't all blood and bruises. Every now and then, even Spartans loosened up, just a little. Festivals like the Gymnopædia give you a break from drills to show off your strength in front of the whole city. Think of it as Sparta's version of a talent show. But instead of singing, it's all about combat moves, wrestling matches, and dancing. Now that you've had a good dance, let's take a look at your gear before you head into battle. First up, the dory, your trusty spear. At about 8 feet long, it's basically a giant ancient skewer. Sharp iron tip for stabbing? Check. Bronze butt spike for whacking enemies sneaking up behind you? Double check. and bonus points for how cool it looks when you twirl it. Then there's the aspis, your shield. This beast of wood and bronze is as heavy as it looks, but it's not just for defense. You can slam it into an enemy's face, knock them flat on their butt, and still have time to follow up with the spear thrust. When things get up close and personal, you whip out your Xiphos, a short sword built for quick, deadly slashes. It's like a dagger, but with a bigger attitude. Perfect for the "oops, I lost my spear" moments. But the real magic is in the iconic Spartan phalanx formation. Imagine standing shoulder to shoulder, shields locked so tight that a cat couldn't slip through. Together, you're a moving wall of bronze and muscle, shoving and stabbing in perfect sync. It's like synchronized swimming, but instead of water, you're surrounded by enemies trying to kill you. You drill this formation day in and day out. Every step has to be flawless, every moment perfectly timed. The chain is only as strong as the weakest link. You screw up, and the whole line collapses. And trust me, you don't want to be that guy. You've barely had time to break in your new Spartan sandals when King Leonidas summons you. The Persian king Xerxes has demanded that Greece submit to his rule, and Sparta's answer is a hard no. Leonidas gathers 300 of his best warriors. You march to Thermopylae, fully aware that you face a most certain death. But fear? That's not in your vocabulary. It's a long march, and by long, I mean really long. Days of trekking through mountains, forests, and sun-scorched plains with nothing to break the monotony except the occasional grunt from your comrades. Your feet? Let's just say they're not thanking you. Those leather sandals are no match for jagged rocks, and by the time you've hit the third day, it feels like someone replaced your legs with lead weights. But Spartans don't whine. You keep your head up and march, the dust coating your face like war paint. At night, you camp wherever there's flat ground, lying under the stars with nothing to do but contemplate your inevitable death. Fun times. Eventually, you arrive at Thermopylae, the so-called hot gates. Sounds nice, right? You're standing in a narrow pass, cliffs towering on one side, the Aegean Sea crashing on the other. The perfect spot for your last stand. Here, the massive Persian army will have to funnel through a tiny choke point, giving your tiny force a fighting chance. The night before battle, things are weirdly calm. Some guys sharpen their swords like it's a normal Tuesday. Others sit quietly, pretending not to notice the guy next to them nervously polishing his shield for the 5th time. Meanwhile, Leonidas is strolling up and down camp like he's hosting a team building retreat, casually convincing the guys that dying tomorrow is the best idea he's ever had. Comforting, right? The next morning, the battle begins. Persian arrows darken the sky, and their soldiers pour into the pass like an unstoppable tide. But you hold the line, your shield locked with your comrades, your spear thrusting forward with deadly precision. Wave after wave of Persians crash against your phalanx, and you push them back with sheer determination. You're a wall of bronze and fury, unyielding and unstoppable. For 2 days, you fight like a man possessed. Your body aches, your arms tremble, but you don't falter. You've trained your whole life for this moment, and you're not about to let your king or your city down. On the 3rd day, betrayal strikes. A Greek traitor reveals a secret path to the Persians, allowing them to surround you. Leonidas orders a final stand, and you brace yourself for the end. The last moments of the battle are chaos. You're slashing, stabbing, and blocking from all sides. You're bleeding from a dozen wounds, but you keep fighting. Finally, a Persian spear finds its mark in the center of your chest, and you fall. But you die as you lived, a Spartan warrior. Fearless, unbroken, and to be remembered for centuries.